Yeah, welcome back, everybody. We're outside in the garden with Dave, the garden guy. Kind of hard to talk about what to do for the summer, but...
You know, flight jacket on. I mean, I'm ready to go flying, and bingo, you get all this cool weather. But you know what? It's going to warm up.
And we're talking about the warm-up, even though it's kind of chilly out here. But it's we got to change the way we water our
plants. In fact, we're going to start thinking about those 90 to 100-degree temperatures right now, and you've got to think about that frequency. In fact, what you're going to do is you're going to increase the frequency, not the time. And this is real important. That's a little confusing. But what we're doing, frequency should increase to every 1 to 2 weeks on all our trees and shrubs. But times, you should be watering or penetrating into the soil 3 foot deep every time you water. And we talk about this.
Your mark, right?
That's right. You should already have your mark. So every time you water, and it goes on every 1 to 2 weeks right now, we should be able to push this down in the ground very easily into the soil at least 3 feet around our trees and about 2 feet around our shrubs. This is very important. So what you're doing is you're watering deeply and infrequently. Again, every 1 to 2 weeks. And we may increase it to every week or so during the summer.
Time, right?
That's, well, during the winter time is every 2 to 3 weeks, sometimes 4 weeks. But right now, every 1 to 2 weeks, because of the fact we're starting to see those increasing temperatures. And there's a good chance we'll hit 100 degrees in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So it's very important to start thinking about changing those times on the timer. Again, frequency only, not the length of time that's actually, the water's actually coming on that plant material.
Okay.
Now, of course, planting is real important
this
time of year. Go ahead.
Is now a good time to plant, or
you betcha? In fact, what we're doing is we're just starting to warm up. Soils are starting to warm up, and think about those young citrus trees, especially. This is a good time to start getting out there. Now, one of the things I see with citrus trees, especially young ones, is we don't protect the trunk. I like to do it with a little bit of white latex paint. That's the ideal situation, or just a piece of cardboard. And you've got to make sure, because the first couple years on those trees, especially the young citrus trees, they have a tendency to burn. This is true for most trees out there. So you want to go ahead and cover them up with something, a piece of cardboard, burlap, or even the white latex paint. That's the ideal situation. Of course, fertilization is crucial this time of year. We're just starting the warm-up process. We're starting getting close to May, and those queen palms are one thing I get more questions about. In fact, going over to a queen palm right over there, you can see it over there in the garden area, and these are something that takes some religious type of fertilization. We like to do this every 2 to 3 weeks. We want to use something with a high manganese in it, something like a Dr. Bob's or any type of custom queen palm fertilizer. But something like this will go a long ways towards really increasing, well, the healthiness of the tree itself. And this is real crucial, because what happens is our pH and our soils have a tendency to get tied up or tie those trace elements up, and invariably we see a lot of stress on queen palms later on when it gets real warm.
Okay.
So
and that you just sprinkle on, and then...
Yeah, just sprinkle around the base of the tree, and you'll be off and running and ready to go. Last but not least, make sure you get out there and start thinking about some of your warm weather vegetables, cowpeas, cucumbers, asparagus, beans, and of course okra. All need to go in right now, especially if you want to garden during the summertime.
Right, absolutely. All right, well, you know what? Coming up in just a couple of minutes, Dave, the garden guy, is going to be taking your questions, but right now we are going to send it in to Brittany, which is kind of odd that I say send it into Brittany.
Send it in.
Usually we always send it out to Brittany somewhere, but she's following the storms and what to expect this weekend. Hi, Brittany.